In this video, we're gonna end our TWINMOTION video course, and we're gonna see some final operations about the finalizing your project and exporting your project and presenting your project and sharing your project with the TWINMOTION Cloud features. So we went through all of the main tools and, well, every tool and every feature that TWINMOTION has to offer. We saw how we can do product design, architectural visualization, product visualization, how we can create technical drawings, how we can create more realistic exterior renderings, interior renderings, how we can simulate a small architectural model, and again, do more technical representations and more realistic representation. And then in the previous video, we concentrated on animation. So how we can insert animated objects, how we can insert static objects and then apply the animation onto those objects. So we can basically make the scene look more alive and with many effects like particles effects and also animate humans with different poses. And this is the last interior that we have done so far with the video material in the TV screen. And this is like a girl playing the piano, which is part of the TWINMOTION people assets library. And so before we actually continue, let's get into the settings one final time. So since I'm experiencing a little bit of slowing down performance, I'm going to set this to everything to low at the moment. Then I will come back here and set everything up high again. But when I open a really big scene, a really heavy scene like this, I often experience a little bit of lagging. So the first thing I do is reduce the quality so that I can work nicely and I can move around. I can work with a nice flow. And I need to wait that all these thumbnails finish to load, because these are taking, I guess, some memory space or some GPU space. So you can see that they are loading up. So until they are all loaded, I've experienced a little bit of lagging. So I'm just gonna wait, and while I wait, I can do other stuff. Then when I finish to load this, I can turn on the highest quality. Now, before we do that, I actually want to show you real quick some other settings here in the preferences panel that can be useful. So we saw many of these already, so I will not go through those again. I just want to show you here again, if you're doing renderings, especially if you render animations, you probably want to use multiple GPUs. Probably one GPU is not enough if you need to do really long animation, and not even so long. If you want to do like high quality animation, you probably would need more GPUs, because everything in TWINMOTION is rendered thanks to the GPU. So if you use path tracer, it's going to use GPU. If you use real-time rendering, it's going to use GPU as well. So everything it's on the GPU. Make sure that you have enough strong GPU. And also, if you have multiple, don't forget that you have this option. You can use more than one. And you can set up also here what your low, medium, and high quality presets would be. So you can change them, you can customize them. And also you can customize the probes resolution. If you remember, we use probes to improve the reflections in the real-time renderings. So here you can improve it even more if you increase the quality of that probe. So you can start with something really basic, like 256 is medium quality, and then you can go higher if you want. And if your computer it's capable of doing that. And also we have skydome resolution again. So it's just a matter of choosing the quality of the skydome, so the HDRIs, and grass fading also. So if you can change here from new, medium, and far. Sorry, near, medium, and far. So near means that it's going to disappear near, and far it means that it's going to disappear also when you are far away. So basically, if you set up near, it's going to be lighter. If you set up far, it's going to be heavier to render. So grass effects are really heavy, could be really heavy, because there is a lot of grass probably in an exterior. So you need to also think about that. Then you have paths again. now we know what the user library is. You have paths for Megascan. You have a folder path for TWINMOTION Cloud Library, which we're gonna see later. And let's move on. So we have paths, and then we have exports. Now, if you want to increase the quality also of the reflection, especially in the animation, you can use the update reflections. This is going to update frame by frame, so it's going to be more accurate in terms of, again, reflections in animations. And then you have warming up and also haze quality. These are, again, are for creating better particles and fog effects, mist effect, the ones that we saw previously using lights and using environment. So everything you do here is going to improve quality, but at time render costs. So everything is going to increase rendering times and increase the load on the GPU. VSync can be something that can improve the performance when you do, again, animation. So it's kind of a synchronization. It's kind of a really technical thing. But if you want, in the documentation of Twinmotion online, you will find all these explained to perfection. This is just, a quickly overview of what you may try to use. Try to do some tests and see which one works the best for you. And again, also high quality for point clouds, objects. You can activate it, you can deactivate it, and that's the VR. You can use virtual reality devices here, and you can also use tablets, iPhones, normal Android phones, and iPads, and whatever device, and also VR visors. So if you want to see your scene and have an immersive experience, and we're going to see different formats, different ways we can export. Now, in this scene here, in the previous video, we played a lot with animations. We saw we can animate paths, and we can animate vehicles. Using paths, we can animate humans walking. We can have like bicycles going around, and this is some particles here. So we saw all of this in the previous video. Okay, now that everything looks fine and is going nice and flowing, I can try again with the ultra settings and with 100% resolution, and there you go. Now I'm not experiencing that slowing down lagging effect, so I can move around and everything looks really nice, beautiful real-time render, and I can create an animation with this. I can interact. We saw also we can interact with objects. We can set up triggers, make objects move when we get closer, and so on. And we also saw how we can create our first video clips, like this one here. So this is just an example. I'm gonna show you more later about these effects in the full version of the video. And so that's it. So this is the scene that we have been developing the last lessons, and it works beautifully already in real-time render. But if you want to do more, we can use the path tracer. Now, one thing is to render an entire animation or a panorama 360 view or whatever using real-time, and another thing is to render that using path tracer. You can see that, for example, in this case, well, the image is going to look way much better, but it's going to take a lot of extra time that usually real-time render doesn't take. So in my opinion, if you use like a desktop, you would go for real-time render, path tracer only for the static renderings. Now you can use other software like Photoshop, Pixar for post-production, and also Premiere Pro, After Effects, Netron for adding video editing and video effects. And if you want to do more with interaction, you can use Unreal Engine or you can use Unity, so you can create like interactive applications. So these are just suggestions to move forward. Now let's talk about the animation and the different way you can animate your video clips. Now we saw we can animate the camera using different keyframes, but you can also animate the weather and a lot of the ambience effects. Now remember also to set up a good timing so that your animation doesn't go too fast or too slow. And you can see here that it's kind of doing a time-lapse effect going from a day scene to a night scene. And this is thanks to a particular setting that I will show you that will help you to change